Hi everyone, in this video I just want to show you the top 20 shortcuts for Windows that you can use in any IntelliJ software, but in this case I'm just going to show you with PyCharm. The first command that I want to show you, so number one, is Ctrl Shift A, find action. So let's say that we want to split this screen in two. Yes, we can go into settings and find how to change that, but by using Ctrl Shift A, we can look for an action which is split space V. It's kind of camel case, so you can just type the beginning of the word and PyCharm is going to understand what you want to do. So let's press enter, split vertically. So now we have the same file open twice, and here on the left, we can click here on the left and we can open a Python file. So here we are. So now we have split vertically, and this Ctrl Shift A, so key 1, is always useful because if you will forget any of the other commands that I will show you later, you can always look for them. And I will show you an example later. Let's go with shortcut number 2, which is Ctrl Alt S. Ctrl Alt S allows us to quickly open the settings menu. So let's do that. Ctrl Alt S. And here we can see the Python interpreter. We can even start typing at the top, and automatically PyCharm will allow us to find what we want to in the settings. So for instance, here we can change the font settings. So by changing size from 16 to 12, press enter, we have changed the font settings. Let's go back, let's revert it back to 16, and here we are. As I just showed you, you can also look for interpreter, and you can configure and change the Python interpreter as well as installing new packages by just pressing here on the plus symbol. Let's go to key 3. So key 3 is Alt 1 and Alt Home. They're slightly different, but I just want to show you both. Alt 1 is just if you want to have a little bit more space to write your code. So you press Alt 1 and this project tab here on the left is going to disappear. So now we can just simply work on our files. If you want to have it back, we press Alt 1 again and this tab is going to show. Another way to navigate to the files, you don't even have to have the project bar open here. You can just use the navigation bar here at the top, but how you can access it with the keyboard? By pressing Alt Home. Alt Home is first showing us all the files in the current directory. Then we can press left to go in the current project. So as you can see here, I have the project, the overarching project here, which has different folders inside, data, manuscript, and so forth. So we can navigate through them. So let's say that I want to go in code. I go right, and then I want to open data exploration. I press enter, and now I have the file open. Okay? Double shift, search everywhere, which is key number 4. If I press double shift, instead of navigating through the navigation bar or the project directory, if I just know that the file that I want to open is import data, I can just start typing import data, enter, and I'm going to open the file that I want. Okay? So let's go, let's press double shift again, and I want to go to data analysis here, and I have my file again open. Sometimes, however, you're going to be mostly working on 2 different files. Let's say that we are working on data analysis and data exploration. Okay, let's open data exploration. If I want to jump quickly back and forth between these 2 files, I can simply press Ctrl E. Okay, Ctrl E and then enter is going to open data analysis file here. Okay, press enter, Ctrl E again, enter is going to open data exploration. So let's change slightly this file, and let's actually just change the data exploration, and we're going to change x equal to 3, and that's all. So if I want to change this file here, and then I open data analysis, and then I open import data, and import data I'm also adding something, x equal to 3. If I press Ctrl E again, I can actually see that I'm now in import data. I previously opened data analysis and then data exploration. However, I did not change data analysis. I just open it. So if I want to only show change files, I can press Ctrl E again, And can you see data analysis is no longer there because I didn't recently change it. I changed it much before. Therefore, it's only going to show me in order of the file that I've actually changed. If I press Ctrl E again, it's actually going to show me in order of the file that I've opened. Okay? So we have seen 5. Now we want to duplicate a line. So we can easily duplicate a line where our caret is by pressing Ctrl D, which is command number 6. Okay? And we can press it as many times as you want, and you can change the line, you can duplicate the line. Now that we have added all this line, we realize that we didn't want all this line, so we can just press Ctrl Y, command 7, and I'm going to delete all these lines that I previously added. Okay, let's go back to the file that we have changed, so data exploration. Again, the cursor is where we actually edited this file, and we can see what we have changed. Now that we know how to duplicate line and delete line, let's see how to commit a file. So let's say that we are happy with this change, we are happy with x equal to 3. We can press Ctrl K, and the Git menu, the commit menu is going to appear, and is going to show us, we can type a commit message, and let's say we assign a value to x, that's fine, and is actually showing us the changes that we have done. So we have changed these, and we have added x equal to 3. So in the committed file there was not these values, but here now we have changed it to x equal to 3. If we like this, we can just press Ctrl Enter, and it's going to commit the changes. If you instead press Ctrl Alt Enter, it's going to push even the changes to GitHub. However, if you decide that you didn't like this change and you want to just go back, you can press here on Revert, and this is going to revert your changes. Okay, so as you can see here, there is no track file, so we have only changed shortcuts, but that file is no longer, there are no longer differences, because as you can see here, we haven't changed actually the file. The only file that we change in this case is shortcuts. Let's close that, and let's move to key number 9, which is Ctrl W. Ctrl W is very nice if you want to change strings. So for instance, if I am in a string here, and let's actually looking here for the title. So if I click here, and if I want to select the whole string, well, I can do it with the mouse and then change the title of the chart. But a much better way is to press Ctrl W, select first the word, then I'm going to select the full string, and I can actually type my new title. Okay? If you are not happy with that, again, Ctrl W, Ctrl W, Ctrl W. Okay, now I've selected too much. I want to go back. Ctrl Shift W, and it's going to go back step by step. Okay, so not this. We don't want to change that. We want to just change the what is in between parentheses, and we say my second title. Okay, so now we have changed the title. Again, we press Ctrl Zeta. Of course, if we press Ctrl Zeta, we can go back to the original title. However, if you have changed it and you have Git enabled, you can even click here on the left side, and then this rollback, which is Ctrl Alt Zeta. So let's do that. Ctrl Alt Zeta is going to show us all the changes here. But if you know that that was the only change, and we know that because the blue dash here, can you see there is no blue indicator, but there is only a blue indicator here, which means that we only change the file in this location. So we press Ctrl Alt Zeta and we press rollback. Okay, so we are happy with these changes, and then we can just click here, and the changes are rolled back. Okay, and the blue indicator that the change was from compared with the Git repository is actually showing here. Let's look at comment 10. So we show 9 was select a word. 10 is to comment a line. So we don't want to use anymore this command, which is title layout. We just press Ctrl/, and now we have commented this line. We can even select multiple lines all at one go, Ctrl/, and all these lines are now commented. Okay, and we can toggle it back. Of course, this line was already commented, so it's going to be commented twice. So if you want to uncomment it, you then have to uncomment it separately. Ctrl P and Ctrl Q. So let me close the project bar here on the side. And let me show you what is Ctrl P and Ctrl Q. So if you want to find out more about this command, which is PLT figure, you can actually type either Ctrl P, and it's going to show you all the inputs that you can add to the figure. Like for instance, you can specify the figure size here and then change it. However, if this is not enough for you, you can just press Ctrl Q, and this is going to open, is fetching the documentation, and now we have all the documentation here. So we have all the documentation of the figure function. We can see all the inputs, we can see some notes, and what each variable means. So we have all the information that we need is without having to leave PyCharm and without having to open our web browser. So let's move to the next comment, to the next key shortcut, which is number 12, which is to find something in the text. So we are all familiar with Ctrl F. So if I want to look where location appears in the text, I can press Ctrl F, but this is only looking in this file, okay? Here I can toggle match case or only word. So for instance, here this location will be not selected if I say match case because this is uppercase. But this is only looking for where location appears in this current file. If I want to look in all the project where this key appears, this column name appears, I can do Ctrl Shift F, and this is going to show me all the locations where this variable appears. So it doesn't only appears in data exploration, but it also appears in data analysis, and this is where it's actually appearing. And again, here you can toggle on the looking for a word only, or and as you can see, like this has changed what I'm looking for, and the match case you can toggle it on and off. Okay. If you want to replace then location, here you want to replace all the instances where location appears, you can do Ctrl Shift R, and you want to replace location with database, you can do so. So let's go in data exploration, here where we are. Okay, so here is where location is appearing in data exploration, and let's go and change. So in data exploration, let me actually show you, line 147. So this is the same line here. I want to change the location with database. So we can do replace all or replace only. So if I do one, replace, this is now from location has changed to the database. Okay. So let's go and revert back this change. So here with the rollback, and now we have back location. And finally, what I want to show you is Alt F7. So again, in key number 12, I just want to show you Alt F7. So if I press Alt F7, it's going to show me all the location where this df lock is actually used. So here we can see that this variable is assigned and then is used to plot a heat map here. The advantage of this one is that we can just see where is actually coming up here in the file, even if we were just then changing another file. Okay, so if I'm working on this one, this is still open here at the bottom, and you can see all the places where this variable is actually coming up. And it's actually even showing me not only, so is where is showing me where is reading, okay, and when we are writing to this variable. Okay, so this is quite useful because it's actually showing us where we are reading some variables and where we are actually writing to the same variable. Let's go to shortcut, keyboard shortcut number 13, which is Ctrl Alt F. So Ctrl Alt F allows us to navigate back to the previous location where we were. So let's say that I'm here, then I change and I do something here, x equal to 2, but then from data exploration I go to import data, and then I type y equal to 3. I want to quickly go back to the previous location. Ctrl Alt back left is going to take me to the previous location, okay? But is also going to take me here because I clicked here, okay? So if I just want to quickly toggle between the two locations without looking at all the location where the cursor went, I can just type Ctrl E and it's going to just move me to one file to the other. Okay, so then we have join lines. So join lines is quite nice because let's say that here we want to change what we have done here. So here, instead of having these inputs on three different lines, we want to just join them together. Ctrl Shift J allow us to just merge to join these two lines together, and then of course I can go back by just with enter, and I'm just reverting back to the previous scenario. But Ctrl Shift J is very nice because the cursor can be in any location of this line, and then I'm going just to join these two lines. Same happens if I do it here. I'm just joining these two lines. Okay. Then let's see shortcut 15, which is collapse and expand. So collapse and expand is quite nice because you can just type Ctrl minus and Ctrl plus. Is going to collapse this whole function. So if I want to have a little bit more clarity, because as you can see here there are a lot of functions, let me actually move to another file to import or to data analysis here. So inside here I have a lot of functions and so I have a function inside a function because this one is located inside this one. By just using Ctrl minus, I can collapse this function, and then by just here I can even collapse this whole function here. Another way that you can collapse all the function is with the defined action that we saw before, Ctrl Shift A, and I can do collapse all. And now all the functions are actually collapsed. If I want to expand something, Ctrl plus is going to expand all the code that is inside here in a definition. Okay. Now we can move to the next one, which is Alt J. Well, Alt J is one of my favorite one because let's say that I want to split this line into multiple lines. Well, I can do this and then click with the mouse here and press enter, but it's a bit of a tedious job. Alt J really helps because I can just press Alt J a couple of times. I can look for all the location where this comma is followed by a space. Then I press right. Now I have a multi-cursor here, as you can see. I can press enter, and now I've split that that column that previously was that single row in many rows. Okay. I think this is very nice, and if you want to go back, we just saw it before, Ctrl Shift J, and then you can just join these different lines together. Okay. Ctrl Alt J can also be used to rename variables. So let's say that we want to rename something, or we want to change something like user ID. We can look for all the instances where user ID appears. Let's say that we are happy with these two. We can change it to, let's say, user underscore ID. Okay, this is quite useful. I mean, if you want to do that, it's also quite useful to use Alt J because you can really see all the location where the code is appearing, and you can change a variable. Of course, you could have done it this easily also with Ctrl R, and we could have changed and typed here what we wanted to replace. Okay. Let's move to 17. So 17 is next error. Let's say that I've typed here something that is not properly typed, so there is an error. So let's say here I've typed something of this kind and enter, which is not the right word. But I want to review the whole file. So I want to see where all the errors are. So as you can see here, I can move through all the locations where PyCharm is finding some issues. Okay, so for instance, here is finding some issues here because this code should be deleted if it's not used. Okay, And again, I can, this is an import statement that is not needed, so Ctrl J, and then again, I can look for all the errors in my file. That is not appearing actually until I fix these major errors. So let me just show you another example. So not this one, probably wasn't the right example, but let's say that, okay, here I've not imported the OS library, but let's say that now I want to do something with the OS library. I want to get the current working directory, okay, and sorry, no, yeah, import OS here. So let me delete that. So now, of course, I cannot use the OS library because it's not imported yet. So let's say that I'm here, I see that there is something red here, and I want to see what is the error. F2, it's showing me what is the error. Alt Enter is going to show me all the possible solutions to this problem. I'm happy with import OS. I press Enter again. So the error is going to be solved here at the here, so it's no longer red. And here at the top, I have import OS, so I'm importing the library. Okay, so I've shown you the F2 command, next error, but as well as the Alt Enter. So the Alt Enter is to fix the error that we have inside the code. Okay, so as I previously showed you, if I press F2, this is the next error that Python is showing me. And as you can see, I could just press Alt Enter. It say optimize import, so just remove this one because you're not using it. Press Enter again, and the error is gone. Finally, I want to show you the last two comments. One is Shift F6, which is extremely useful because let's say that, let's go into my project here, and I want to change this file here from configuration. So I want to change the name, and I want to call it config. Okay? So if you just normally change a file without using the Shift F6, you're going to break all the references. Okay, because here I'm importing this configuration file, as you can see here. But the beauty of using Shift F6 is that I can change the name to config, press Enter, which is going to refactor, as long as these search for references and searching comments and strings are enabled. So if I press refactor, as you can see, without doing anything, it has automatically changed the name of the file that I needed to import here. Okay, let's go back by just doing Shift F6 and let's call it configuration and then refactor, and then it has changed it again. So extremely useful. Don't use Shift F6 if you really want to change a variable, but just change it by using Shift F6. And this also is true with function's name. So as you can see here, I have a function name. If I want to change that, Shift F6, and I call it processing refactor, is going to show me all the location where this function is actually referenced, and I do refactor, and as you can see here, the value has changed. So before it was called pre-processing, now is processing. Okay, Ctrl Zeta, and let's do revert back the changes, and here we are back. And finally, if you have a file, so if you want to run a file, you can run this file here by pressing Ctrl Shift F10. This is going to run our file here in the terminal, and is going to run the file. Once you have run the file once, you can just simply press Shift F10. So as you can see, the exit code is done. So if you press Shift F10, it's going to run the file here that you can see here in the run at the top here. You can change that by clicking on a different file, but if I press Shift F10 again, it's going to run the file again. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you found this video interesting, and please consider liking the video and subscribing to my channel. Thank you very much.